In the 1920s, Missouri was a largely rural state, with a significant portion of its population engaged in farming. Life for these farmers was challenging, with long hours of hard work and unpredictable weather affecting their crops and livelihoods. Despite these challenges, many farmers took pride in their work and found satisfaction in working the land. One such farmer was Donald, a middle-aged man who owned a small farm outside of a small town in Missouri. Donald had worked the land ever since he was a young man. He was a hard worker and took great pride in the land, which he had carefully tended for many years. Donald's days began early, often before the sun rose, and he would work until late in the evening. He tended to his crops, caring for them as if they were his own children, and he worked the land with his trusty mule Bill. Despite the long hours and hard work, Donald loved his life as a farmer and felt a deep connection to the land. Like many other farmers in Missouri at the time, Donald faced many challenges, including unpredictable weather and fluctuating crop prices. In the early 1920s, a drought hit the state, and Donald struggled to keep his crops alive. He had to work even harder to maintain his farm, but he never gave up. The year is 1923 for Donald and his wife Daisy, and it had its share of famous births, disasters, discoveries, milestones, and more. It was also the year a little girl was born. They named her Mildred. Mildred was born in Tarkio, Missouri, a small town in the very northwest section of Missouri. Her mom and dad eventually made their way to Ava, Missouri, not too far from here. Life was good in Ava, where they farmed and raised numerous animals, including chickens and pigs. In 1936, when she was only 13, they packed their bags again and moved to Kanesville, Missouri, where Donald and Daisy opened up a restaurant. In the small town of Kanesville, Missouri, life moved slowly. The town square was the center of all activity, and on a warm Saturday evening, 17-year-old Millie found herself strolling around the square, taking in the sights and sounds with her girlfriends. It was what you did on a Saturday night in this small town. As she walked, she noticed a young man standing by a tree, smoking a cigarette. She couldn't help but be intrigued by him, but she was bashful and looked away. He noticed Millie right away and approached her to strike up a conversation. "Hi there," he said, smiling. The young Millie looked up, surprised by his approach, but smiled back. "Hello," she replied. They talked for a while, exchanging small talk and getting to know each other. His name was Russell. He was in the Army and only in Kanesville for a few days. As the night went on, they found themselves drawn to each other, their conversation growing deeper and more personal. They shared stories of their hopes and dreams, and Millie felt like she had found someone who truly understood her. Before they knew it, it was late, and they exchanged addresses before parting ways, both feeling a sense of excitement and anticipation about what the future might hold. Within weeks, they were dating. Unfortunately, Russell would soon go back to where he was stationed in Springfield, Missouri, working in the medical field with the Army. Months passed with no communication. Then, out of the blue, a letter arrived in the mail. It said, "Come to Springfield and marry me." Soon after, without telling her parents, she hopped on a bus. They married in the courthouse the next day. After the Army, the newly married couple would make their home in Bethany, where he helped his father-in-law Donald tend to the farm. Within a year, they would eventually have twins, Anna and Gloria. During this difficult time, Donald, his wife Daisy, Russell, and Mildred all relied heavily on the support of their tight-knit farming community. They would often come together to help each other out, whether it was sharing equipment or lending a helping hand during a busy time on the farm. The family loved watching the twins ride horses, tease each other, and play about the farm. Mildred smiled while watching them, knowing there was another young one on the way. Then, in 1947, their son Russell Jr. was born. They nicknamed him Sonny. One very dry and sunny day, Russell Sr. was heading into town delivering a truck of corn. Donald, as usual, was left to shuck the corn. He switched on the machine and started feeding the corn cobs into the shucker. All of a sudden, the machine shook and locked up. Donald looked down into the corn shucker and saw a large rock had jammed into the machine. Thinking what to do, he finally decided to grab it as fast as he could. He grabbed it and pulled, but the rock would not come loose. So, with both hands and a push off the shucker, the rock finally came out. For a second there was relief, but the shucker had caught his glove, and the grinding started with his left forefingers with it. He stood there stuck for over 30 minutes until Russell arrived. They rushed to the doctor where he made a full recovery, but having only a thumb on his left hand. Despite these challenges and all the hard work, Donald remained optimistic and hopeful for a better future. They continued to work hard and take pride in their work, knowing that their efforts were contributing to the growth and success of their community. Eventually, Russell quit the farm and started running a filling station. Mildred worked at an auto parts store and then a bus station. The kids had moved on with their lives, moving to other states, getting married, and starting their own chapters. Russell Sr. died in 1970, and Mildred packed her bags and moved in with her daughter Gloria and her husband in Tucson, Arizona. She lived there for 2 years before moving back to Bethany, working again at the bus station. This is where she met Mildred Quy. The two fell in love quickly and would eventually make their way to Springfield, where they would call home. Mildred would get a job at Assemblies of God headquarters, where she worked in the printing department. Spending time with family is one of life's greatest pleasures, and for Mildred and Ken, it was a source of endless joy and fulfillment. Growing up in a close-knit family, Mildred has always treasured the time she spent with her parents, siblings, and extended family. From family dinners to game nights and movie marathons, every moment together was precious. When Kenneth would pass away in 1992, she relied on her close-knit family for comfort, but Ken's passing did not slow her down, as she continued to work at headquarters well into her 70s. Not long after retirement at headquarters, she moved to Mount Vernon, where she went back to work in the family's Radio Shack store into her 80s. Most people in the town knew her for her kindness and her smarts around the electronics store. Mildred continued to prioritize spending time with her loved ones, even though many were out of town. But she loved it when her children and grandchildren would visit her. When the whole family was together, this was when Mildred was most happy. And this was when her family, being with her, was the most happiest. They would all spend lazy afternoons playing games and enjoying each other's company. For Mildred, there was nothing more important than family. They were her support system, her sounding board, and her source of love and encouragement. And for her family, no matter what challenges they faced in life, they knew that Mildred would always be there for them. And that was a comfort and a blessing that they cherished every single day. Today, Mildred is 100 years old. Living to 100 years old is an incredible feat, and for Mildred, it is a testament to her strength, resilience, and the power of positivity. A lot of you wouldn't be here without this wonderful woman. And Mildred, you are loved more than you could ever know from all of your family around you. Happy 100th birthday.
To you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Grandma, happy birthday to you.
Make a wish.
Make a wish. I wish I get well. I could see good. I wish I could sleep. Okay.
Oh, almost
One
got
more.
it. There you go.